Hello Europe and welcome to Volt's Europe Week. During the whole week we will have videos that will focus on the culture and the beauty of Europe. We will start the Europe Week with an event called European Cities 5 Minutes of Fame. To make this become a reality, we send out a call to all the city teams of Volt Europa to send us videos of their hometown where they explain what makes their town such a beautiful place, why you should actually visit this city. So we told them they can include their favorite spots in their hometown. Of course, they should include the sites, the major tourist sites, and could also explain a little bit about the history of the city. But actually they were pretty free to do whatever they wanted. So I would invite you to join us onto this trip across Europe. The first city we will start with lies in the heart of the European Union. It's called Frankfurt am Main and it's in the center of Germany. It's very famous for having a skyscraper-dominated skyline, which why some people call it Manhattan. And it's also the place where the European Central Bank is located. And the videos that were sent from Frankfurt am Main were sent from different people of the whole team.
Hi everyone, this is Frankfurt, and what I like most about the city is the river, and especially the view that you have from here towards the skyline. The skyline is not just buildings, but it's a place where people from all over the world come together to work and live, making Frankfurt a truly international and European city.
Right now I'm standing on the Iron Footbridge, which spans over the River Main and connects Frankfurt with Sachsenhausen. And not all Frankfurters only believe in money and power, but many of them believe in love. As you can see here, there's a lot of logs attached to the railing from young couples. And I just counted them. I think it's about 10,000.
Frankfurt Central Station, a place where the city is being connected nationally and internationally to Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, connecting the bustling place of Frankfurt with the whole continent.
This is the Bethmann Park in Frankfurt. This is personally my favorite spot in the city, and especially in the summer times. It's the nicest place to just relax and enjoy the sun. And as you can see, a lot of people are doing this right now. What is very special about this park is that inside this park there's a Chinese garden. And I'm gonna take you there very quick. So this is the Chinese garden inside the Bethmann Park. And as you can see, it's really pretty, and it even has a pond with like many fish in there, and it's just a very nice place to relax and enjoy the weather. And here you can even see some fish. Because the Chinese garden is quite special here in Frankfurt, and we just have that one, it's also a famous spot for taking pictures.
Just a few meters up the hill from Paulskirche is the Frankfurter Römer. For 600 years it has been and still is Frankfurt City Hall and center of government. Since our successful elections in March, our 4 Volt representatives have an office here and we might even participate in the next city government.
Hi there, my name is Jan Ditken. And this is me without the sunglasses. I joined the Volt team in Frankfurt a couple of weeks ago, and I'm here at one of my favorite places in the center of Frankfurt. This is the St. Peter's Church, right in the center. It is a church from the outside and a cultural venue from the inside, and this is where I usually meet with a group of young people who are enthusiastic about theatre, and we're the theatre group named Ankunftshalle T. And this is them and some of the projects we've done together at St. Peter in the past. And currently we of course not meeting up here because of the corona pandemic, but we all hope that we'll be able to hit the stage again soon, and then we're really looking very much forward to all meeting here again at St. Peter in Frankfurt. Thank you very much and take care. Bye.
I'm in front of Paulskirche, a Catholic church finished in 1833. Due to its size and circular form, the first German Congress made up of representatives of the common people was held here, making it the birthplace of German democracy. Now you can get a tour of the inside, or, when trees are finally green again, just enjoy the scenery in front of it.
Hi, I'm standing here in Frankfurt in front of the European Central Bank. And in the back you can see the skyline. The ECB, European Central Bank, moved here in 2015. And as you can see, it's surrounded by a nice little park where you can relax and enjoy the sun. To me, the European Central Bank stands for both the achievements we as Europeans have already accomplished when it comes to European integration, but also the challenges that still lay ahead of us. The challenges like creating a European Union that is more in touch with its citizens and democratizing European institutions. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sandra and I was born in Frankfurt and lived my whole life here. For me, Frankfurt is more than just banks and the skyline. Here's my favorite spot. This is a smaller river called the Nidda. It was once rich in fish, but in the 20th century it was canalized, dammed and straightened. In 2012 and 30, the Nidda was remodeled to its natural origin, and the reconstruction of the weirs create new habitats for plants and animals. Also, it is a great area for the people in Frankfurt to enjoy the beauty of nature.
Now from Frankfurt I would like to jump to the city of Sofia. It's the capital of Bulgaria. I have been there several times. It's a very nice city. Special thanks goes out for Poletina Girova and the city team of Volt Sofia.
Hello Europe! We are now in Sofia, in the city center.
Hello Europe! This is Sofia. We are in front of the Mountains. Sofia lies in the middle of a beautiful valley in front of a lot of beautiful mountains, and we are now in front of the National Palace of Culture, which is celebrating 40 years anniversary today. This used to be a big socialist monument, and nowadays it is still hosting a lot of concerts, cultural events and everything you would like to see. This is the central place in front of the NDK, the way we call it, where a lot of people meet and gather for drinks. Most Bulgarians and people from Sofia have spent their childhood running around this place and playing with other children. It's really beautiful when the fountains are working. Unfortunately right now they aren't. But we can see that the pandemic has let us breathe a little bit, and people have started gathering around because the weather is so wonderful.
The next video is from Yorkshire, England. It was actually produced for Yorkshire Day and not Europe Day, which you should not get confused about. But Jason Lowe from the Yorkshire team contacted me and asked me if we could use it in our schedule. They actually did something very interesting in that video because they went to those places that have been influenced by continental Europeans.
Happy Yorkshire Day everybody! I'm Jason from Volt, and to celebrate Yorkshire Day I wanted to go on a journey through time with the Europeans that made Yorkshire. Let's go right back to 71 AD, when our ancient capital York was founded as a borough by the Romans. It was later captured by the Vikings from Scandinavia and renamed Jorvik. Fast forward to 1132. Rievaulx Abbey was founded by monks from Burgundy in France, the first of a number of Cistercian abbeys in Yorkshire. The French settlers were prevalent across Yorkshire, including here in Doncaster, where the town initially developed around the Norman-settled French Gate in the 12 and 1300s. Today it's best known by the French Gate shopping centre. On the edge of Leeds, Fulbeck was founded in 1744 by Moravian settlers from Czechia, formerly known as the Czech Republic. Many migrants to Yorkshire arrived here in Hull, which boomed in the 19th and 20th centuries. At a strategic location on the Humber, Hull was Yorkshire's gateway to Europe long before the era of air travel, and I'm sure that still today many of you take the overnight ferry to Rotterdam. It's also worth noting that William Wilberforce, whose family made their wealth on Hull's Baltic trade, campaigned for the abolition of slavery that also took place on this day in 1834. Here we are in my hometown Harrogate. In 1919, Swiss migrant Frederick Belmont founded Betty's at its original site behind the cenotaph. In addition to Betty's, Antonio Frattorini moved from Lake Como in Italy to Leeds, where he founded his jeweller's business. He later moved the business to Harrogate, where it remains the longest established business in the town. In the modern era, Harrogate is better known for hosting the Eurovision Song Contest and the Tour de France's Grand Départ in 2014. And finally, here we are in Yorkshire's 21st century capital, the great city of Leeds, where Frenchman Louis Le Prince gave the world its first moving pictures and Polish migrant Michael Marks founded M&S. But it's to talk about the future why I really came here. Leeds was the clear favourite to become European Capital of Culture in 2023, and despite the efforts of the creative community in this city, their chance to shine was stolen from them. We were on the cusp of showing a continent that we were not a forgotten industrial backwater, but that Britain's third largest city was taking centre stage in Europe. We had a future in Europe, a generation denied the right to shine across the continent that made them. We have so much to shout about. We can't let ourselves be cut off. So no matter what happens in the future, let's make sure that today we celebrate everything that is great about England's largest county. Happy Yorkshire Day.
The next clip is from the city of Luxembourg, which is the capital of the country of Luxembourg. Special thanks for the video goes out to Daniel Silva and Julie Pelce.
Luxembourg City, the capital of the only Grand Duchy in the world. It will surprise you with its myriad delights. Rarely will you find a country in Europe where so many cultures, mentalities and languages act in accordance and perfect harmony. And of course it is a beautiful and lively place. Between the ancient walls of the old town, which has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1994, there are always little hidden corners and parks that let you really enjoy life in the summer. And Luxembourg City is built on two levels. The upper town was originally a fortress, and this is where people worked during the day, while they then liked to go to the lower town for a beer after work.
This is another well-known viewpoint called Europe Balcony or Le Balcon de l'Europe. From here you can indeed see the European institutions, including the towers of the European Court of Justice. This is La Cité Judiciaire. It is where the judicial courts are located. It gathers all of the courts of Luxembourg, from the local court to the highest court and the constitutional court.
The Golden Lady, or in Luxembourgish Gulle Vrouw, was set up in 1923 to commemorate the Luxembourgers who perished in the First World War. Today it symbolizes freedom and resistance for the Luxembourg people, and it's the city's most famous memorial.
Luxembourg City also offers convenient and affordable city biking system. Many bikes are available in several parts of the city. For less than €20 a year, you have an unlimited use of the bikes and many bike lanes to cycle safely. Luxembourg City is great for its transportation system. In the entire country, every transport is free: tram, buses and trains. This area is called the Grund. It is where you can find one of the most famous viewpoints of Luxembourg City. It is located in the heart of the historical part of the city and is really charming. In summertime especially, people gather here to have a romantic walk or sit down with friends on one of these terraces. In warm summer weekends, it is usually very lively here. From here you can get an elevator up to go to the upper part of the city.
The University of Luxembourg is only partly in the capital. The largest part is now located in the south of the country. It shines internationally above all because of its multilingual structure.
In the heart of Luxembourg City, you'll find this nice piece of nature. It is the Petrus Valley. Being in nature in the middle of a city is an enormous privilege. Luxembourg City is one of the top 10 greenest capital cities in Europe. Here you can have a nice walk, a run, a picnic, or meet friends during or after your workday. Events are even organized down here. The whole town becomes a celebration, and a big party is organized down here in the Petrus Valley.
For the next video, Sven Frank, the city leader of Lille, made a little bicycle tour through his town. Enjoy!
Hi there, my name is Sven and I'm going to give you a tour of Lille. Lille is a city of 250,000 people in the north of France, close to the border of Belgium. We have two train stations and I'm starting the tour. The first one is under here, it's called Lille Europe. It's where the Eurostar train leaves to London and Paris. So in 40 minutes you're in Paris, in 1 hour you can be in London before Brexit, and in an hour you're in Brussels. You can also see something very common in Lille. We do have a few trees, but they are all in pots. And so we're always criticizing our municipal government that this is not what we understand by green spaces, and it's also not very, well, it doesn't work for us. We're now heading to the central, actually it's downtown Lille, the central square. So, quick tour, this is the opera, also closed. Chambre de commerce, with in the winter a nice ice skating ring inside. This is the old exchange, there's a book market inside. And you can watch people play chess in the summer or dance tango in the evening. Also closed, unfortunately, because of COVID. Another thing I always point out if we have visitors is the facade of this building. Because if you look up, you can first see still that there are some cannonballs in the facade. Apparently Lille is the city which has been besieged the most in Europe, and supposedly those cannonballs are from the Austrians. So here we are on the Grand Place, as you can see, heavy traffic. I hated it that we still don't manage to make our inner city a pedestrian zone, but voila, this is life in the north of France. Apparently it's one of the most beautiful Grand Place or main squares in France. This is the oldest waffle maker in France, apparently. They're very expensive, but they're very good, and apparently Napoleon already ordered his waffles here. So they have one store for waffles and the other one for all kind of chocolate and sweet stuff. Culinary stop. What you see here on the left side is an estaminet. Estaminet is the name for the typical traditional restaurants of the region. You can get the famous nervieuse. Let's see it. In, let's call it the Lille microforest, another example of the city trying to become more green by putting up trees and plants. I actually wanted to show the green area because, well, it doesn't look like much now, but it used to be a harbor, because all the cities in the north of France, just like in the Netherlands and Belgium and the north of Germany, used to have a lot of canals, including Lille. So now we are entering the Citadel parking area. We'll stop here on the bridge. As you can see, there's still the old canals. We are at the Citadel. It used to be a military base. It's today still a military base. Now it's used by the European Union. It's right in the middle of the biggest park in Lille, which is the Parc de la Citadelle. It's a bit on the outskirts of, no, not on the outskirts, on the northeast of the town. So here we are on the other side of the Citadel. It's a Sunday, and it's sunny, everybody's out. You can see the canals going back and forth here. Of course, they're no longer used for recreational stuff, but this used to be the old shipping lanes, so you could go more or less to city center on this. Have to make another stop here, and this is the Palais Rameau. It's been built by the city after a wealthy flower merchant inherited his fortune to the city under the condition that they build a place for flowers. Here we are at the Sevastopol Theatre. It's actually a really quiet theatre. Currently, because of COVID, of course, there's nothing happening except that it's occupied by artists. You can hear them playing music. Before we go to the mairie, we stop here on the Place de la République. This is the Beaux-Arts Museum, the biggest museum in Lille, with all the painting, statues and whatnot you can imagine. Another short stop at the old industrial train station. This is the Gare Saint-Sauveur. It's a big cultural ground and there's a big industrial wasteland. So here we are on our last stop. It's the Lille train station where we started, which goes to Paris, Brussels and London. I wanted to quickly stop here because it has a very nice mural, which I hope it's visible on the camera. It's from a local artist and it covers the whole building here. Voila. So this was a tour of Lille on bicycle.
The next video is from the capital of Romania. Thank you goes out to Flavia Tuto from Bucharest.
We are in the Revolution Square. It was here, at around 10:30 am on December 21, 1989, when the communism regime began to crumble. We were looking at the statue of King Carol I, the one who gained the country's independence, recovered the economy and endowed Romania with a series of institutions specific to the modern state. We will now see the Athene Palace Houten, built in 1914 and outlived many challenges. It went through 2 world wars, as many catastrophic earthquakes, it was bombed and shot with a machine gun during the revolution, but it survived and it is still gorgeous and imposing. This is the royal palace that symbolizes the center of the monarchical power in Romania. In 1882 it was the first electrically lit building in Bucharest. We are now heading to Constitution Square, where the Palace of the Parliament is located, the second largest and most expensive administrative building in the world, after the US Pentagon. It is also the heaviest building in the world with 1 million cubic meters of marble, 7,000 tons of steel, 900,000 cubic meters of wood and 200,000 cubic meters of glass. The building has an area of 330,000 square meters. It has a height of 86 meters, above elevation zero, and a depth of 92 meters, below ground level. The building has about 1,000 rooms, 3,500 tons of crystal, 15,000 chandeliers and 220,000 square meters of carpets. Currently, the Parliament Palace houses the 2 chambers of the Romanian Parliament, the National Museum of Contemporary Art and the headquarters of several international organizations. Warm greetings from Romania.
Next video is from Houten in the Netherlands.
Hi Volt Europe, I'm Wilbert.
And I'm Jorrit. And today we're gonna talk about our town, called Houten.
And Jorrit is gonna help me because my English is not so good and he can do a little bit better than I do.
Houten is located in the center of the Netherlands, about 10 kilometers southeast from the city of Utrecht. Until well in the 20th century, Houten was a small village. In 1966, the village was designated as a growth center to accommodate the rapidly growing population of Utrecht. The population grew from 6,000 in 1960 to 30,000 people in the early 90s. Nowadays, more than 50,000 people live in Houten. We are now in the historical center of Houten. There has been found evidence that people have lived in this area since 2200 before Christ. This church, Pleinkerk, is built somewhere around the year 700. Remains of an old Roman villa or a farm have been found at this church. In 1674, a severe storm hit the church and the tower. The church was rebuilt with a united effort.
these marks in the street indicate where the fundaments of an old Roman building are. The building was a farm, and it was about 6.5 meters in width, and it was 25 meters long.
Many of the old buildings were left intact, and the old village has an attractive square. Due to the historical ambience, the old village of Houten is also regularly used as a backdrop for recordings of films and commercials.
We've had a lot of fun recording this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and
we switch now over to Julia and she will show us the modern part of Houten.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia, and as Wilbert said, I live in the northern part, the modern part of Houten. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about our unique city planning, and I hope that voters all around Europe, and hopefully they will become future politicians, will get inspired by this beautiful city. The city center was designed in a circle shape. Within the center of the circle, the new town center. And fanning out from the city center, bicycle paths in every direction, making you able to reach the city center from anywhere within the circle in 5 minutes. And in between those bicycle paths were the different neighborhoods. This sign says that this is a bicycle path and cars can come here, but they're the guests. Cyclists rule. In the 60s, Houten was tasked by the government to build a lot of houses. And the area around here was pretty much farmland. There was just a few farms around here. So it made up a perfect blank canvas. And city planner Robert Derks made up a really ambitious plan, which I'll tell you about. As you may know, we Dutchies, we love bicycles. And this is what inspired the city planner. He designed the city around the bicycle, making traveling within the town quicker by bicycle than by car. Houten's cycling infrastructure is what attracted us to move here. Our kids can cycle safely to school without encountering any cars. And if we cycle anywhere where we do meet a car, they have to stop and let us pass. They first started construction in what we call Houten North. They started construction early 70s and they finished it in the late 90s. By the end of the 90s, Houten was tasked to grow once more. This time they would build another bicycle wheel in the south, equal size to the north. And construction's been going on for over 30 years now, and it's nearly complete. These are one of the last houses to be built. As you can see here, we have a cycling bridge over the road where the cars drive, so you never have to cross paths with them. The building task given to us in the 90s, that's nearly done. And now we got given another building task, but that's up for a lot of political debate. And who knows, maybe some voters in the future will have some say in what's going to happen next. I hope this video has inspired other Europeans to promote cycling infrastructure in your own area, because cycling is healthy, it's clean, it's green, and it's very safe. Thank you.
The next video is from Toulouse. Big thanks goes out to the city team of Toulouse.
So here is the famous Place Wilson of Toulouse. I really like it because on the weekend you have a lot of families and children who are coming to play a little bit, and it's really nice. It's really on the center of Toulouse. And welcome to the most famous place of Toulouse, the capital, which was built during the 12th century and is now the city hall. And it's a really large place where there is usually a lot of tourists, and there are a lot of bars also just here when you can have a drink and just look at this beautiful place, which is now in renovation. So this is one of the most important churches in Toulouse. the Basilica Saint-Sernin, where you can find the body of Saint Saturnin. And it was constructed in 1080, so it's really old and built in a Romanesque style, and it's really well known in Toulouse. And it's the front of the Basilica Saint-Sernin with the place where there are usually a lot of students, because there is a high school just here and they are all sitting here usually. But it's holidays now. During the 16th century, Toulousains are becoming really rich because of pastel, which is this extraordinary blue color, which is giving really a lot of money to the city. And so with this money, they are building a lot of urban palaces. For example, this one is Hôtel d'Acéza, which is a famous urban palace of Toulouse. And then unfortunately, it's closed now because of COVID, but it's really a nice palace to go. And it's also housing a famous art foundation. Finally, this was one of my favorite bars, located just behind the biggest university in Toulouse and welcoming usually a lot of Erasmus students, so there is always a good mood in it and a good music. So this is La Garonne, which is a famous river from the southwest of France. It's 600 kilometers long and it goes from the Spanish Pyrenees to Bordeaux and goes into the Atlantic Ocean. So it's really large and really appreciated by all inhabitants of Toulouse, who are usually going on the borders to have a drink or to eat something.
The next thank you goes out to Christine and Nelly from Augsburg.
Welcome to the city of Augsburg. It is the third largest city in Bavaria with about 300,000 inhabitants. Founded by the Romans, it is the oldest city in Bavaria and the second oldest German town. City Wall and Stone Man. The legend says the statue of the Stone Man represents a baker who helped to save the city during the 30 Years' War. He made artificial breads, climbed the city wall and showed them to the besiegers. The imperial troops realized that it would be impossible to starve the Augsburgers and they withdrew. We have a lovely old town with canals of the river Lech. The Lech canals are popular places to spend time with friends. The water management system of Augsburg is a UNESCO World Heritage. Providing the public with clean drinking water had an important effect on the development of the city. The drinking water in Augsburg is among the best in Europe. The tap water here is natural, untreated and pure. City Hall and Perlach Tower. It is the most significant Renaissance building north of the Alps. The restored Golden Hall is famous for its grand portals and beautiful ceiling. Next to the City Hall of Augsburg, you can find the Klima Camp. This camp was set up by Fridays for Future Augsburg and is the first of its kind. This is the Mozart House, the birthplace of Leopold Mozart, father of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Magnificent fountain monuments with precious bronze sculptures on the Maximilianstraße, also known as the Imperial Mile.
Merci beaucoup, Maurice Hilbig de Rennes.
Hello everybody, my name is Maurice.
My name is Brieux.
And today we will show you the capital of Brittany, Rennes. is over 2000 years old, so imagine it's a really old city. And here we are really in the middle of the old core of the city of Rennes. And behind me you have a good example of a typical Breton building.
C'est bon, top.
Okay, behind me you see one of the most famous restaurants of Rennes. It's called a creperie. So creperie, it's really famous here in the region. And you know, crepe, maybe like pancakes, French pancakes. And we have also the same thing in salty. It's called a galette. And it's the thing you have to eat here. And another example I will show you for Brittany. It's our flag right here. Black and white, and it's called the Gwenzadu.
We are now in the middle of the Tabor Park, which is a 19th century park, and it's considered as the nicest park all over Brittany. Comme ça. C'est bon? So right now we are in front of the Parliament of Brittany. 500 years ago, Brittany used to be an independent country, and this, before the French Revolution, represented the seat of the political autonomy of the region. Since then, it has always been a very important symbol in the heart of Britons, and still is now for further political autonomy. So here we are in front of St. Helene Church, which is the oldest church in the city. It has been renovated several times, and it's situated next to the largest park here.
So, and now we are next to the Vilaine. It's the river which goes through the whole city of Rennes. And this is also the end of our short trip through the city.
And we'll be glad to welcome you after the lockdown here. So see you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
The next video is from Groningen. Thanks a lot, Min Huang.
Welcome to the city center of Groningen. Here in front of me is the Martinitoren Church. This 15th century church is 96 meters tall. An interesting fact is that in Groningen no buildings can be built higher than the top of the Martini Tower. During the summer you can put in your requests for songs to be played on the bell system that they have installed here. Turning away from the Martini Tower, first we'll find the building of Groningen's oldest and most prominent student association, Vindicat. And when we move farther to the right, you see the Drie Gezusters, which compromises of the buildings all the way from Hotel de Doelen on the left to the Drie Gezusters on the right. Together, these buildings are all connected and can seat almost 4,000 people, making it the largest pub in all of Europe. And turning right from the Drie Gezusters, the last building I would like to show you on Groningen's Grote Markt is our City Hall. Unfortunately, our City Hall is currently starting to undergo construction for the coming years. So when you come visit, it will probably still be filled with scaffolding on the side and also in the front. Right in front of me is one of Groningen's most modern architectural feats. It's called the Groningen Forum, and it compromises of a huge library and also a lot of entertainment and bars, movie theater, etc. Meeting rooms for companies and lectures. You can't see it perfectly from here, but on the top, outside of Corona times, you would be able to get a drink on a rooftop bar, maybe enjoy some live music. Many people in Groningen don't really like the modern style. I think it's quite nice and it looks even better from the inside, so definitely look up a video from how that would look normally. For hundreds of years, Groningen has also been a big student city. The university was founded in 1614. It doesn't have a campus. One of the most regal and beautiful buildings we have is in the city center, and I'm there now. It's this academy building. It was opened in 1909, and if you have lectures here, you're probably following a law course. Unless it's kind of obscured by the tree, you have lectures in this tower, which is where you go if you're part of the Honors College. Groningen boasts almost 33,000 students, which is a huge amount, almost a third of the city's population. So yeah, everywhere in the city you'll find buildings where people will go for lectures or to study. Across the water here is the Groningen Museum. It was first founded in the 19th century, but in 1994 it was moved here into this post-modernist building. It has an amazing view on the inside, seeing as it's built on the water. And it hosts many exhibits every single year. Recently I've been to the Schihuli glass exhibit and the Rolling Stones exhibit, especially as a student, since the museum is free of charge for us. It's always nice to take a few friends and visit the latest exhibit. Unfortunately, currently it's closed, but the building is definitely worth taking a look if you ever visit Groningen. This will be a very familiar sight to you if you've ever visited Groningen using public transport. It's Groningen City Station. It's one of the oldest still operating station buildings in the Netherlands. As you can see on the front here, it was built in 1895. There's an interesting juxtaposition here since the building is so old, but currently I am standing on top of all of this cement, and under here is actually a very modern bike depository where students can store thousands of bikes while studying here. Next to this is the statue of Peert of Amelux, which I think is one of Groningen's most beautiful art pieces, and it is based on a little story, a little poem from 2 centuries ago that is very famous in Groningen. So yeah, this is Groningen City Station. Welcome to my favorite spot to relax in Groningen. This is the middle of the Noorderplantsoen. It's located north of the city center. It has got many fields, and when the weather is nice as a student, this is where you come with your friends to unwind, have a beer, enjoy the weather, enjoy some fun games. Now that I've lived here for a few years, it's also the perfect place to take my dog for long walks. So yeah, the Noorderplantsoen in Groningen is one of the pieces of city nature that you definitely want to visit if you ever get a chance to come to Groningen. Just outside the city of Groningen we find climbing center Bucharest, and Bucharest is internationally very well known for having the largest freestanding climbing tower in all of the world. At 36 meters high, it is an extreme feat of climbing, and it's got an 11-meter overhang as well. And if you're feeling very daring, you can even spend a night sleeping at the top of the tower. So this is Excalibur in Groningen.
I hope you enjoyed it so far. I would like to close this event with cheers from Karlsruhe. And don't miss tomorrow our next entry in the Europe Week program with Paolo's Cooking with You. Tomorrow 7:30 CET. Bye!